Good morning. How are we doing? So I was looking at whey protein shakes. Sorry, protein shakes, not whey protein shakes. Whey protein on the head, on the brain. I was looking at protein shakes, but there are so many now, and there are. It's a bit like it's become like picking milk, isn't it? You get blue milk, red milk, blue, bob, gold, oat, rice, hemp. Could go on, soy, and it's similar with that in the protein. So what's should I take one? What's the best one for me? So let's start with the advantage of why you would even want to take one. So this came about from I know that eating protein at breakfast is really helpful for me in terms of my hunger, in terms of how I feel. I know it stops me picking later, but sometimes we're just literally running out the house, or I don't fancy eggs. I don't fancy yogurt on a colder morning. I'm not really sure what to have. I just fancy something. I'm not that hungry, but I'll just end up having a slice of toast, and then I'll get on, but then I'll be hungry an hour or so later. 2 hours later. And I know I need to get my meals better, and I think less about food. It actually saves time and money because you're not eating twice. So from that point of view, what a great way to make it convenient, easy, cheap, and a good source of protein, which is going to keep you fuller for longer. The second scenario was she was vegetarian and didn't want to eat loads of beans all the time. So she doesn't want to eat just beans all the time, pulses or meat alternatives, especially at lunchtime. But she loves vegetables, which is great. She's like, I don't really want to feel like totally stuffed either. And actually like almost treating the protein shake as a drink or a pudding. Morning, Gareth. As a drink or a pudding after. It's actually a good tool in the toolbox to have. She's got like her vegetables in, her micronutrients, her fibre. Then for pudding, if you like, she's then having the protein shake. Now, so which is the best one? You could go around all day, and I appreciate it's quite confusing now if you're just opening up the page. Get the diet one. First off, ignore any kind of pink ladies, slim, fit protein, whatever words they use, women's protein. There's no science on women's protein versus men's protein or anything like that. And often the diet ones will contain, not always, but often they'll actually be more of a meal replacement. They'll contain ingredients with a little bit of research on, like carnitine, things like that, just to boost weight loss, maybe some green tea extract or something like that. But they're in like small doses, it's just like to put them on the packets almost. So personally, ignore that. Go with your bog standard if you can, unless you are vegan, which I'll come on to in a minute. So if you're vegetarian or you eat meat, omnivore, go for a whey protein, ideally. Your bog standard, 80% whey protein. Okay, that will allow you to be quite versatile with how you have it. You could have it with water if you really wanted a low calorie one. You can have it with milk, with a plant-based milk. You've got some options there. You can have it as a smoothie, for example, handful frozen berries or a banana. Just pick one fruit, mix some milk in there, any plant-based milk. With that, whiz that up. Yeah, as much fluid to suit the thickness as you want with one scoop protein powder, and you're done. Like easy. And you've got options there. However, then we go into the question of, okay, but I don't handle lactose well. Okay, so if you don't handle lactose too well, say you have a bit of a bad stomach with milk, or it doesn't really agree with me, then you could go for a whey isolate. So that's just been isolated even more. So there's like zilch, there's no sugar in it. So as in the 2 grams of sugar that was naturally occurring from the milk in the normal whey protein, you go for the isolate, they literally get rid of the sugar, basically. That would be the first change I'd make. I'll come on to flavour in a minute. The second one, if you're like, no, there's still, maybe it's the casein, who knows? Maybe it's that. If you're still like, no, it doesn't really agree with me, try a different brand. Like, so I know some people are like, I tried that brand, maybe it was a sweetener, who knows? Come on to flavour in a minute. Now, before we head into vegetarian vegan, firstly, flavour. If you're like, bombarded with the flavors. I know some brands, My Protein, bulk powders, all of that. They have like every flavor you can think of, from birthday cake to jam tart to jam roly poly, cappuccino, tiramisu. They sound better than they taste. If you want a safe bet, chocolate and vanilla, pretty safe. Strawberry, pretty safe. Banana never tastes like banana. Do you ever find that with anything? Even the sweets don't really taste like banana. Those little banana sweets, they don't really taste like banana. Anyway, so or you can get unflavored and kind of make your own with some cocoa powder, some cinnamon. We've done that before. Or if you're making a smoothie, sometimes do it with the kids. And it's another option. I used to with the kids stir in some unflavored, some flavored protein powder into still do it sometimes, into porridge or pancakes or something like that when I'm cooking, making stuff, just to make it a little bit different, and also increase the nutritional value in terms of protein as well. Not that that's essential to do, but it also offers some flavor, which is great if they're eating loads of berries and eggs, etc. Or a smoothie with frozen cauliflower, which I've done before for them. I literally chucked a load of frozen veg into a big mixer. Anyway, more on that another day. They didn't even notice. It's quite funny. Frozen peas were in there. Like, just literally gave them the ultimate, I think. So, now we go into, so going fast, I drink Huel, ready to drink. Is this an average product or should I avoid it? So Huel would be more of a meal replacement. So this is the next part I'd go into. There is other ones that are more meal replacements, and they're fine. The difference is they'll have multivitamins in there. So, I mean, I'm not saying these are better than obviously eating fruit and vegetables, etc. But the micronutrients that you would get from them, they'll be essentially a multivitamin supplement in the Huel product, and then you'll get that from there. Now, if you're on the go, super busy, lunchtime, you don't have that. Like I said with one of the clients who at lunchtime, she was like, I love eating veg, but I don't eat too much. Don't want to have any protein with that. A protein shake suits her after. But actually for you, it might be like, if I can't sit down, depending on what your job is, etc., and just have a nice salad and vegetables. So therefore, a Huel actually suits me. And it's always thinking, what's the alternative? Well, the alternative, I just nip to Greg's and get, or any convenience place and just get whatever. A Huel might be a good option. And although it seems expensive, when I speak to people and it's like, how much is a meal deal now? Like £5-6. A Huel per portion might be like £1.52, or any meal replacement. I know other brands like do their version of Huel as well, so you can even get it cheaper. But even that sounds expensive, like £1.50, like a scoop of shake or something. It's like, well, if that keeps you full and quite satisfied, it's actually quite cheap, really, for 20 odd grams of protein. When you consider how much, say, a chicken breast would be. So that's the meal replacement aspect of that. If we then go into one of the questions that comes up, which is about vegan, vegetarian. So then you've got like soy, you've got rice, pea, hemp, vegan blends. In a nutshell, whey protein is a complete protein. It contains all the amino acids, and you want to be chasing complete proteins where possible, because these have a better impact in terms of muscle protein synthesis, which is essentially the recovery muscle building response. So you want to chase them. As we age, we need to retain muscle as much as possible as well. So you want to focus on that. However, if you don't want to have the whey, then the second best option would be a soy. Soy is a complete protein as well. So soy isolate is. When it comes to like pea, rice, if you were to ever check the nutrition information, like the amino acid profile, they would be what we'd call an incomplete protein. They wouldn't contain sufficient amounts of the essential amino acids, most likely. But what they often do is blend them together. So you've got a vegan blend. So they blend like rice, pea, hemp, whatever, and a bit of soy. Soy would bump it up. And then it's completely vegan, and then it will contain all the amino acids, which should do. Not always. They might hide on the labels, if not. The one thing I'd say with them is that the taste of them is, pretty iffy, I must say. I've tried a few, and I can't even describe the taste. Like sandy grass, which I've never had before, but that's how I'd imagine it to taste. even with some flavour in. Yeah, it wasn't the best. Yeah, and it just, yeah, the texture, everything on it. I've never really found a good one on it. Not that I need to, because whey is perfectly fine for me. I like the taste of that. It's like having a chocolate shake, and it's actually towards my goals, which is quite a nice thing. Now, one of the concerns I often hear is, yeah, but I don't want to drink shakes. I don't want to, and that's fine. I'm not saying you have to do this. This is if you want to do it. And you have to drink them all the time. They're just a tool in the toolbox for convenience and ease. And one of the things you can do is stir it into things like yogurt if you wanted to. You could stir it into some yogurt to bump it up. You could have a bowl of porridge. When it's ready, don't cook the protein powder, but you could stir it in at the end when it's warm, not really hot. Stir it in at the end to flavour it. A bit like, I know one of the someone I was working with recently, she was like, oh, I don't actually need to put like honey or anything, or like sprinkle anything on that. I just stir that in, and I've got 20 grams of protein. I've cut out a few calories from the sweetness side of things like honey, and actually it's nicer. It's done. I'm more full. And that's not for everyone. I'm just saying they're tools. But also consider, even, some people worry, yeah, but am I getting the nutrition in? You've obviously got like the meal replacement options, but you've also got the option to make your own smoothie. So, like I said, with a handful of berries, like how many people are getting that in at breakfast, like on the go? Handful of berries, scoop of protein powder, some milk or water, whatever. You could even chuck in some frozen spinach or frozen whatever, some veggies in there, handful of spinach, whatever. It could be fresh, whatever. Chuck that in there, blend that up. You won't even taste it. And you're getting some vegetables in there at breakfast, which not many people get them in unless you're having something like an omelette or fried mushrooms and tomatoes if you fry it, which on the other hand is a good one, by the way. Quite like a fry up isn't that bad, by the way. A lot of people do think that, I can fry it for breakfast. It's like 600, 700 calories. Did you have any lunch? No, I was stuffed. Did you snack? No, I was absolutely stuffed. And I just had an evening meal. And I didn't snack, and I had lower calories than normal. Anyway, more on that another day. It's the power of having meals, not snacks. Snacky food is more highly palatable, which brings me on to the alternative. People are happy to have a breakfast biscuit, on the go, breakfast bars, things like that. But then a shake, it's, oh no, I don't want to eat that. Anyway, I hope that helps. Any questions on that, just let me know. Put them in the comments. And